Good Friday evening to you. I'm Dakota Makris. Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis is facing more criticism for sending migrants to Martha's Vineyard without notice. It's the latest in a series of moves by Republican governors to transport migrants into Democratic-led cities. Those migrants are now on the move again to a military base in Massachusetts. Beth Germano reports from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Venezuelan migrants, some as young as 4, voluntarily boarded buses on Martha's Vineyard, headed to a new shelter at Joint Base Cape Cod.
I hope they feel exceptionally loved. They're in my heart forever.
Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis sent the asylum seekers to the Massachusetts summer retreat Wednesday, demanding President Biden do more to secure the border.
They went from Texas to Florida to Martha's Vineyard with a flight. There's also going to be buses, and there will likely be more flights.
In a fiery presser from Orlando Friday, faith and immigrant leaders fired back, calling the move a cruel political stunt.
What is the problem? The whole United States is supposed to be a sanctuary country.
Governor, you need to repent.
The governor of Massachusetts says 125 members of the National Guard will help with the relief effort on Cape Cod, where migrants will be given food, clothing, and medical care. Volunteers and residents stepped up to help the migrants on the vineyard, many of whom told translators they made the journey for a better life.
Behind, I left half of me, more than half of me, because he left his son and his family.
Civil rights attorneys tell CBS News the migrants were misled about where they were headed and promised work.
These are the kinds of tactics we see from smugglers in places like Mexico and Guatemala.
The White House is calling on Republicans to support President Biden's immigration reform package to help migrants legally enter the U.S. Beth Germano, CBS News, Cape Cod.
So far, Texas and Arizona have sent at least 295 buses with approximately 13,000 migrants to D.C., New York, and Chicago, according to state statistics provided to CBS News. The operations have cost Texas more than $12 million and Arizona more than $4 million. Florida has not provided costs for its effort. Well, the start of a new school year can bring new challenges for any student. But for Afghan refugees still getting acclimated to new surroundings after a chaotic evacuation from home 1 year ago, it takes an extra support system to get students for success, to set students for success. Karen Kafa reports from Northern Virginia, where a number of young Afghan students face a full school year for the first time.
Checking off the list of back-to-school supplies can be stressful for any family, especially for the first time.
Red, blue.
So Nova Raft, shorthand for the group Northern Virginia Resettling Afghan Families Together, that's been helping families since August of last year, tried to make the process less anxious and more fun.
Everything is new.
Between finding shelter, filling out paperwork, and adjusting to life far from home, many students who arrived after the August 2021 withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan didn't enroll in school for a few months. So some have just started their first full academic year here, and it takes a support system to ensure success.
Some of the kids were in private schools in Afghanistan, and some of them were in, I would say, the public schools in Afghanistan, and some of them didn't have the opportunity to go to school the entire time. And so we definitely tailor what courses they're going to take based on their educational background.
A number of refugees did not go far from their arrival point at Dulles International Airport in Northern Virginia. And Fairfax County, Virginia Public Schools said they enrolled 244 new Afghan students between August and December 2021, including some at Annandale High School, where Meredith Hedrick is the English as a Second Language department chair.
We make sure that we have high expectations for the students as far as learning the language and learning the content, but also really providing the support that they need and imagining what it would be like if we were a new student at the school and didn't speak the language or know the culture or had new food.
Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia have large Afghan American populations, and Hedrick says connections with Afghan students who already navigated the adjustment to an American high school have been critically important. Families have also been assigned a liaison, like Khalida Juaid at the system's Parklawn Elementary School, who shares resources for food, clothing, and other school needs, but also her own experience arriving from Afghanistan.
The first question comes out to me was just, I was curious to know how to push my kids, how to, support them to get, improve their English as a second language.
From language skills to backpacks of school supplies to checking in the classroom, schools and communities making sure a new start is a strong one. In Arlington, Virginia, I'm Karen Kafa.
Well, it's a beautiful afternoon here at the Black Gold Festival in downtown Hazard. The sun is out and plenty of sunshine all around the region, as is evident from our camera out at Moorhead along Interstate 64, down at 81 degrees, the current reading there, and over toward the Mountain Parkway at Slade, a little bit of road work on the way, sitting at 81 there as well. Pinpoint Doppler, as has been the case really all week. It's a clean sweep out there, and we should expect to see plenty of that over the next few days. High pressure is in complete control over our weather here in the mountains, so we should continue to see plenty of sunshine as we head on into the weekend. Temperatures around the region, upper 70s and low 80s right now. And if you're headed out to the Black Gold Festival out here, 84 the high, though we are going to drop those temperatures down into the 70s as we head through the nighttime hours. Another warm one, though, tomorrow, with temperatures back in the middle 80s as we head into tomorrow as well here at the Black Gold Festival. I'll have the latest, though, on that Friday night football forecast, and if the heat continues through the rest of the weekend, that's coming up in just a few minutes. Dakota?
All right, Evan, thank you. Two U.S. citizens, WNBA player Brittany Griner and former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, are still in Russia, and U.S. officials are still trying to get them out. President Joe Biden will meet with their families today. He has spoken with them before, but it'll be the first time meeting them in person. The administration has repeatedly said it's working to secure Griner and Whelan's release, along with other Americans wrongfully detained abroad. Griner was recently sentenced to 9 years in prison in Russia after she was detained this February for carrying vape cartridges with cannabis oil in her luggage. Whelan has been held by Russia since 2018 for alleged espionage since. Well, French air traffic controllers are taking industrial action today as negotiations with the French government over wages and recruitment issues stall. In the absence of concrete elements and commitments from public authorities, which would be, on the one hand, preserve a high level of public service and aerial navigation, and on the other hand, catch up with inflation, Sancta maintains its announcement of a strike on Friday, 16th of September. A statement from Sancta read yesterday. Well, it is the country's main union for traffic controllers. The strike is set to last from midnight Eastern Time on Friday until midnight Eastern Time on Saturday. Well, desperate times require desperate measures seems to be an understatement when it comes to the lengths some in Lebanon have gone just to withdraw from their own money from their bank accounts. Earlier this week, a woman doused herself in gasoline and threatened to set herself on fire if she wasn't given access to her own money. A state news agency reports she had a gun, which she later said was a toy. She stormed the bank in Beirut yesterday, along with other people furious that their accounts were frozen. The group also took hostages before the woman got around $20,000 from her account. She said she needed it to pay for her sister's cancer treatment. She was not arrested. This is the second hostage situation in Lebanese banks over the same issue since last month. And unrest continues to increase in Lebanon as residents question the actions of the government. One Beirut resident believes the government has, quote, broke the country. Here is more on what that resident had to say.
The whole people comes on. Why we are sleeping till now? Why we are? They broke the country. They broke the people. What do we have? This is not a country.
Lebanese banks have locked most customers out of their accounts as the country grapples with a financial crisis. Well, coming up here on Mountain News at 5:30, the jury listens to clips of Alex Jones mocking the families of Sandy Hook victims. More on what happened in the courtroom coming up.
And sunshine continues here in downtown Hazard. Will it continue through the weekend? The latest details next.